why nobody throws the best pitch in baseball, but baseball doesn't exist.
This is the most unhittable pitch in baseball. The ball has zero spin. The air hits it and moves it in unpredictable ways. Hitters dodge balls right down the middle and swing at pitches that hit them. These pitchers throw the same pitch over and over again. The hitters know it's coming. It's going extremely slow, but they still can't touch it. There's only been around 70 knuckleballers in MLB's 100-plus year history. 12.5% of them have been Hall of Famers. Chelsea Baker learned one, went 4 years straight without losing a game, threw 2 perfect games, and was even invited to face the Tampa Bay Rays, who couldn't even hit it well. She was a 17-year-old girl. Teenagers can throw them. Old men can throw them in the major leagues. It takes no arm strength, no lower body strength. It doesn't even take pitching experience. Former LSU quarterback Josh Booty learned a knuckleball to compete in a reality TV show. He had an
unfortunate name.
17 years, learned the knuckleball in only a few months, and it was good enough to earn him a minor league contract. It's so good, catchers can't catch it. It's so good, umpires can't make correct calls on it, and the best hitters in the world look idiotic trying to hit it, but nobody throws it. The best pitch in baseball went completely extinct. From 2020 to 2023, there were only 3 knuckleballers. They were so bad, they only threw a combined 15 innings, had an ERA over 13. Now one of them is
Did people figure out that to contact?
and the other one got arrested. At one point, there were 4 knucklerballers on one team, but in 2023, it was a completely dead pitch until this guy came along. Matt Waldron is bringing back the knuckleball, and it is nasty.
I just faced this man named Waldron. I tell you, that's probably the best pitch I've ever seen in baseball.
His knuckle?
That way. We were losing, and I came back to the dugout and I said, bro, I can't be mad.
You gotta tip your cap.
Yeah, you got that.
But he is bringing back the knuckleball in a way we've never seen it thrown before, and others are following him. There's knuckleballers popping up all over the minor leagues. Lewis was a 9th round draft pick, a complete afterthought in the eyes of the Twins. He thought throwing a knuckleball was fun, so he did it in college, but barely ever threw it. Shortly after getting drafted, realized it was unhittable, and all of a sudden, he's been terrorizing minor leaguers with his knuckleball. He has become one of the Twins' top prospects and is knocking on the doors of MLB. These 2 guys throw their knuckleballs in ways we've never seen in MLB. In a few years, there could be dozens of pitchers in MLB throwing knuckleballs in the exact same way, but the traditional knuckleball has disappeared, in part because some of the best knuckleballers in the world are also some of the worst pitchers in the world. Pretty much every single knuckleballer didn't start as a knuckleballer. They started as a regular pitcher or position player, sucked at it, nobody wanted them on their team, so as a last-ditch effort, they learned a knuckleball and saved their career. Tim Wakefield was drafted as a position player, was terrible in the minors, was told by his own team he'd never make it above AA, so instead, he learned a knuckleball and ended up pitching 19
Can you explain why knuckleball is working so well? Because I don't get it.
R.A. Dickey started as a regular pitcher, had a career ERA over 5, was one of the worst starters in the league, was completely out of the league, then learned a knuckleball, returned, and won a Cy Young. David Fletcher has then learned a knuckleball.
I guess you hold it like with a knuckle grip, compared to like a normal baseball pitch where like you're holding it fully in your hand, like this. What does it change? I guess it doesn't, zero spin, but like, why is it so good? If it's so easy, that's what is not explaining.
Knuckleball, returned, and won a Cy Young. David Fletcher has played second base in MLB in parts of 7 seasons. After several bad years at the plate, no team wants him anymore. He is also facing a lifetime ban for allegedly gambling on baseball. So now, even though he's never been a full-time pitcher in his professional career, he's in the minors trying to learn a knuckleball as a last-ditch effort to make it back in MLB. Chris Nolan Nolan didn't even play high school baseball. In college, he started throwing a knuckleball against walls for fun. His friends thought it was a nasty pitch, had him go to a Reds tryout. A scout at the Reds tryout decided to draft him with the team's last pick. A guy who hadn't played baseball since middle school. Teams will do things like this because the upside for an elite knuckleballer is insane. The pitch causes so little wear and tear on their arms, they never get hurt, and they can pitch forever. Wilbur Wood threw 376 innings in one season. The most innings by a non-knuckleballer last year was 216. That's 160 innings less. Most pitchers need 5 days of rest, but Wilbur only rested 3 days between starts. Last year, the most complete games in a season was 3. In 1972, he threw 4 of them in the first month of the season. Phil Niekro pitched 25 seasons as a knuckler, but since it doesn't take athleticism, strength, or stamina, he pitched until he was an old man. He pitched 210 innings in 1987. That'd be the second most innings by any player in 2023, and he was 47 years old. He pitched 245 complete games. Yes, he has more complete games in his career than Jacob deGrom has starts in his career. They can pitch way more than a regular pitcher, never get injured. The ones who develop a good one are unhittable. Basically, anyone, regardless of age or athleticism, can become one. So why aren't teams constantly looking and developing knuckleball pitchers? The truth is, they've been trying and failing for years. In the 80s, the Rangers set up their own knuckleball school. They took their expendable minor league pitchers who they thought had little chance to ever make it to the majors and made a deal with them. If they only focused on knuckleballs and threw only knuckleballs for an entire season, they were guaranteed to have a job the next season, no matter how bad they did. The hope was that if they took dozens of mediocre pitchers, taught them a knuckleball, they could turn at least one of them into a major leaguer. And none of them ended up making it as a knuckleballer, because even though almost anyone has the physical capability to throw it, it's almost impossible for anybody to learn it. Phil Koch, Jamie Moyer, Brian Wilson, Frank Viola, JD...
I feel like he keeps contradicting himself. Like, is it easy or not? I'm so confused. Like, what?
Martin, Mark Lemke, and more all tried to come back as knuckleballers after successful MLB careers, and they all failed. Pitchers are constantly trying to learn a knuckleball, but only around 70 have actually made it in MLB throwing it, meaning there's not many who are actually qualified to teach.
So then it's not easy to throw if it is that hard to throw. I mean, I don't know.
Yet there are thousands actively trying to learn it, which is why we have people like Chris Nolan, who I mentioned earlier. After going to the Reds tryout, he never actually ended up getting drafted by the Reds like he was told. The scout ended up getting fired. Instead, he pitched professionally in independent leagues for 5 years. And now he is a full-time knuckleball coach. He has a knuckleball facility where people come exclusively to learn knuckleball. He even had a knuckleball academy, essentially a knuckleball sleepaway camp where you stay in hotel-style rooms, get all meals provided, and for 2 weeks you do nothing except learn a knuckleball from the best knuckleballers in the world for only $4,000. There's also one-on-one training, virtual training, clinics, seminars, and coaching offered year-round, and hundreds, if not thousands of people trying to become the next great knuckler go through these programs every year. They are taught a technique which goes against all logic when it comes to pitching. Today, pitchers obsess over getting as much spin as possible on all their pitches. Knuckleballers do the opposite. They try to get the least amount of spin as possible. When a ball has zero spin, the seams push the airflow in a way that makes the ball move in directions the human brain isn't used to. They cut in unpredictable ways. Sometimes they float, and sometimes they even flutter. Seeing a ball with no spin go through the air is so rare to us, it tricks the mind to make you think it's defying physics, creating some of the most...
Okay, it only took 8 minutes for bro to explain the freaking thing. Thank you. I understand the logic now. So because of like no spin, your mind is used to certain physics, which makes sense, right? So like you expect a trajectory, especially as a pro, I guess, as a pro batter or something. But with a knuckleball, it just doesn't follow logic, and it doesn't have like always the same movement, so I understand. Okay.
Mind-blowing and unhittable pitches in history. But if you mess up and add a little bit of spin, you get no movement, essentially lobbing up a slow fastball to some of the best hitters on the planet.
Okay, so it's very dangerous.
The difference in release point turns the best pitch in baseball into the worst pitch in baseball. Nobody could hit Stephen Wright in 2016. He was an all-star and had the 10th lowest ERA in the AL. The next year, he had an ERA over 8. R.A. Dickey won a Cy Young, then followed it up by being one of the worst qualified starters in baseball and finished in the bottom 10 in AL ERA. Tim Wakefield was third in Rookie of the Year voting with a 2.14 ERA his first year. The next year, he had an ERA over 5 and couldn't even get through July without getting demoted. His rookie year looked like a complete fluke, but the next season, he came back as one of the best pitchers in the league and finished third in Cy Young voting, only to return the very next year and put up an ERA over 5 again. Dickey and Wakefield are two of the undisputed best knuckleballers in history. They also share the record for most homers given up in a game. Both of them gave up 6 homers each in one start. When a knuckleball is bad, it is terrible. But when they're amazing, that can also be a problem because catchers can't catch them. In 2016, Stephen Wright was making his first ever Major League start. Catcher Ryan Larvinway set an MLB record by missing 4 pass balls in 1 inning. Wright only gave up 1 hit, but the Red Sox were forced to take him out of the game after just 1 inning just because his catcher couldn't catch a knuckleball. In the 40s, Dutch Leopard had to leave the Dodgers.
So it's so good, but then you also need your catcher to be like really good. So yeah, this is really like ultra level. It makes sense why Nazmedi can do it. I mean, it's so hard to learn. It's so easy to make a mistake and just lose the game, and it's so easy for your catcher to not manage to catch it. So like, it's insanely high risk, high reward. Yeah. The tree is good, over is trash. Dutch Leopard.
Because their catchers refused to catch his knuckleball. Forced to just throw regular pitches, he sucked. The Dodgers didn't want him anymore, so he went to Washington and pitched 15 more MLB seasons as a knuckleballer. Tim Wakefield is famous for having his own personal catcher, Doug Mirabelli. He was a backup catcher, but since he was the only catcher who could catch Wakefield's knuckleball, he became the starter each time Tim Wakefield pitched. He basically kept a job in MLB, in large part just because he was the only one who could catch Wakefield's knuckleball. The Red Sox thought that this was kind of a waste, so they traded him thinking they could just teach a different catcher to learn how to catch a knuckleball. But the guy who took his place sucked. Immediately after getting to Boston, he missed 10 pass balls in 7 games while catching Wakefield. Nobody on the team could catch him, so without Mirabelli, Wakefield was useless. To make matters worse, Wakefield's next start was scheduled against the Yankees on ESPN's Monday Night Baseball. It was Johnny Damon's first game back in Fenway after going to New York at the peak of the Red Sox and Yankees rivalry, making the Red Sox even more desperate. 9 hours before this game, the Red Sox finally got the trade done to get Mirabelli back on the team. A trade their GM later said was, quote, the worst trade he's ever been involved.
Then if you're that catcher, you're just like, okay, I'll come back, but you pay me the biggest pay ever. Clearly, like, there's no one else that can do it, that can catch this ball, so pay me the biggest pay.
However, at the time, they were just worried about getting him to Boston in time for the game. They chartered a private jet, called in a favor, and literally got airspace over Cleveland and New York City cleared for a more direct route. Dozens of planes were likely delayed and rerouted just so Mirabelli could get to the game on time. When they landed, Mirabelli says there were at least 20 planes sitting on the tarmac delayed just so he could land faster and get to the game on time. The Red Sox...
Hopefully he didn't fuck it up once he got to the game. Hopefully he actually catch those balls.
Organized the Boston police to wait outside the plane with Mirabelli's uniform inside, picked him up, had him change in the police car, and had a helicopter fly overhead while the...
I mean, baseball doesn't exist, but damn, it's serious business in the US. The cops are helping a baseball guy go to a baseball game. Okay.
Cop car had its sirens on so it could bypass traffic to get to the game on time.
Okay.
He arrived at the stadium at 7:02 p.m. The Red Sox had multiple people throw out the ceremonial first pitch just to stall, then pretended to accidentally set the sprinkler system off to delay the game even further. Mirabelli had to borrow catcher's equipment, cleats, and supposedly accidentally left his cup in the police car. He caught at least one inning without a cup, but the game started at 7:13 and it all worked out because the Red Sox ended up winning. However, in reality, it was a complete disaster. The Red Sox traded a catcher with a 943 OPS that season and a reliever who ended the year with a 1.07 ERA for a backup catcher just because he could catch a knuckleball. Close to 1% of all knuckleballs end up being wild pitches or pass balls. They are 4 times more likely to get past a catcher than a regular pitch. The margins to be a successful knuckleballer in spite of these inevitable wild pitches are extremely small, and this is a major reason why the pitch completely disappeared. But history shows you can never completely kill the knuckler. Starting in the 40s, MLB always had a steady stream of knuckleballers, but by the 80s, they were gone. The New York Times and LA Times pronounced the pitch dead. Then Charlie Howe came along. He became a starter at 34 years old, was successful, and other knuckleballers followed him. When he retired at 46, once again, the league deemed the pitch extinct. In the 90s, multiple publications pronounced the pitch dead. Then Tim Wakefield arrived. He pitched in high-profile playoff games as a rookie and mesmerized.
And what's going on? Like, oh, okay. I don't know why there was a part of YouTube at the top.
Baseball with a
That looks weird.
knuckleball. And again, more pitchers followed, but after a long career, he retired at 43. Once again, people deemed the pitch dead. Then R.A. Dickey came along. He was born without a UCL. When the Rangers found out he didn't have a UCL, they lowered his signing bonus from $800K to $75K. By 2005, he had a career ERA of 5.55. That's when he learned a knuckleball to try and save his.
I never thought about that. Isn't there like some people who have like hyperextended arm and joint and stuff like that? Like, is there some kind of like deformities that actually help with pitching? There must be, right?
Career. The Rangers let him try it out for a game. He gave up 6 home runs. In his only game he ever started throwing a knuckleball, he set an MLB record for homers given up in a game. He got demoted, was cut, and they never let him throw it again. But he didn't give up. He spent the next several years not in MLB, mastering the knuckleball, returned, became an all-star, led the league in starts 3 years in a row, and legitimately became the best pitcher in the league, becoming the first knuckleballer in history to win a Cy Young. Once again, the knuckleball was back. Several other knuckleballers popped up, but after Dickey's retirement, knuckleballs dropped to a scary new low. From 2008 to 2017, they were on average 3,486 knuckleballs thrown a year. 5 years following that, there were only on average 210 knuckleballs thrown a year. Starting in 2020, there were 119 knuckleballs thrown in a 3-year period. Tim Wakefield threw 170 of them in one game. With the advancements of analytics, teams want pitchers to throw as hard as possible. Knuckleballers do the opposite. Since they're susceptible to wild pitches, they have to be perfect. Since they're volatile, it's hard to project how they'll perform game to game, and in terms of value, having to find a catcher just to catch one pitcher seems like a complete waste to most teams in MLB. Many aspects of advanced analytics goes against knuckleballers, which is why article after article pronounced the pitch completely dead.
Again.
Then this guy came along. Matt Waldron is the newest evolution of knuckleballer and is unlike almost any knuckleballer before him. He only learned it in 2021 while in the minors. It took him from being an 18th round draft pick and complete afterthought to now being a staple in the Padres rotation. Hitters are only slugging 387 against it, and when they swing at it, they miss it 27.8% of the time. Instead of lobbing
Okay.
knuckleball after knuckleball like the traditional knuckleballer, he only throws it 38% of the time. 62% of the time, batters facing him are seeing sinkers, cutters, and sweepers, meaning they
Oh,
have
so yeah, I guess that is the ultimate build, right? Like, don't just do knuckleballs, be able to do both knuckleballs and the other type. So the batter has literally like zero idea of what's coming. That's the ultimate build, because just doing knuckleball is, you know, still really focused, but yeah.
have to be ready
Got
for
it.
90 plus miles per hour, then have to adjust to a slow knuckleball that moves in all types
Yeah,
of directions. Only throwing it 38% of the time limits pass balls, which teams today would see as a massive inefficiency. He also adheres to teams' obsession with velocity. At 84 miles per hour, it might be the fastest knuckleball ever. Only R.A. Dickey ever threw a knuckleball close to that speed. In only his second season, Waldron's stats have improved in almost every metric. If he continues to improve, we are likely to see a similar effect how Wakefield and Dickey had when they revived the knuckleball in their eras. But this time, you won't see someone lobbing up knuckleballs every pitch. Teams will target traditional players who happen to throw good knuckleballs. They'll throw
Really
knuckleballs
jam.
30 to 40% of the time. This will cause less pass balls, less pressure on the catcher, and hitters being completely off balance because they don't know if they're getting a 95 mile per hour
Yeah.
fastball or a 70 mile per hour
trickery.
knuckleball that moves in 7 directions at once. And if the knuckleballs look anything like these, they will have no chance.
Okay. Well, very interesting. I don't know if I've ever seen the knuckleball before. I mean, you know, I've watched quite a bit of, you know, baseball anime, but I don't remember if this was ever a thing that they do in baseball anime. And in baseball anime, they love to pull out the most unique move, right? But I don't remember that. Okay. Very interesting.